anybody wants from downstairs.
Take the candy?
Yeah. Somebody.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Fiscal Services Budget Committee. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I have more in my bag.
I pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Legislator Yankee's unable to attend, and Legislator Birmingham is sitting in. Beth, please call the roll.
Legislator Crowley.
Present.
Legislator Yonke. Chairman Elner.
Here. Real quick, I want to thank all the commissioners and department heads. The communication with you guys have been excellent, and we've pre-identified that there really are no problems or controversies, so hopefully we can get through this in an expedient manner. First up is Veterans, which is page 191 of your books. Unfortunately, Carl Brody is unable to make it. Carl communicated that he has no issues with the budget. So I'm going to open up any questions or comments first to the committee. Being that there are none, any questions or comments by legislators? Public? Okay. Next agenda item involves the planning department. So we're looking at pages 236 and 237, and where you have Commissioner Barossa here. Thank you. Now, legislators, do you have any questions? Legislator Birmingham.
Yeah, hi, Commissioner, how are you? Thank you. On the second line, under revenues, we've got the NIMTIC CFDA.
Dan, please advise the page.
Oh, I'm sorry, my apologies. 236. We got the NIMTIC, it's some sort of grant, I guess, or revenue. Is it? I see it was moved for 2025. We haven't received anything yet, and we're putting the same amount in for next year. Is it something that comes late in the year? And what exactly is it?
This is our UPWP funding. We receive funding for NIMTIC to do different tasks for them. This actually has been moved into different lines, so that's why it's not necessarily showing. We also are still billing for last year. Our contract was slow to come this year from NIMTIC, so we actually haven't billed for 2025 yet, but it is coming.
Okay.
So, yes.
Perfect. And just one other quick question. On the same page under contracts, 46, I see we only spent $250 so far this year, or at least that's what's been in the county system, but we're asking for $4,000 more than last year, from 6 to 10.
So this is the line that I'm going to use for the match for the agricultural and farmland protection plan. The grant that I'm applying for is a $100,000 grant to write the plan for a consultant, $50,000 from the state, $40,000 staff time, and $10,000 cash match.
Great, so it's a new endeavor.
Yes.
Accounts for the
Commissioner, is your mic on?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is.
Wasn't close enough, sorry.
That's all I have.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions on page 236? That includes the audience. Yes, Legislator Montgomery.
So the top line, planning assistance, is that money we're getting for the ag plan as well? No.
No, so there are two different lines. The top line and the third line are identified as revenues. We receive from 5307 funds to run operations for our grants. $100,000 grant annually, $80,000 federal, $10,000 from the state, $10,000 from the county.
Public, have any questions? Yes. This is on page 236.
Yes, sir. Just under the personnel line, On 236?
I'm going to interrupt you here, Mr. Yaris. We're not dealing with personnel at this time. That's going to be during the Personnel Committee, because all the employment personnel and benefits. This
Look at that.
is,
That's the fastest comment I've ever had in the public. All right, that's one way to speed me up.
thank you. Okay, moving along, page 237. Any comments from the committee or legislators? Public. Page 238. Any questions or comments? Oh, I'm sorry, 272. Thank you, appreciate it. Okay, now we're in the transportation, the park bus system, 5630. And for people, the object line is 9563000, page 272 of the book.
956, oh.
That's it.
Okay. Any questions or comments on page 272? Legislator Montgomery.
Thanks. So the contracts seem to have gone way down. What were we contracting for that we're not contracting for this year?
So I had a placeholder while we were designing the microtransit.
I was gonna ask about that, thank you.
So we used some for outside assistance, but ultimately, moving forward, I don't think we need as much.
If I may, I don't think it's off topic, but this $20,000 is for a microtransit program? Or is there another line item in here that incorporates the microtransit program?
We have, for several years, used a consultant out of Albany to assist with, we have a GTFS, which is basically pinpointing our routes on a GIS map and sending it to the state. We're required to do it. It's more technical, so assistance like that is what this is intended for. We separately, through a capital line, and UPWP funded, doing a study of our entire transit system. And that will be a consultant, and that's a separate line, so it doesn't need to use this.
Okay. Obviously, I'm looking to expand that program, and once the study is done, the study that's funded, that we will be doing this year,
Yes,
we'll determine how to expand that program.
yes.
Great, thank you for that.
Any other questions from legislators or the public on page 272? Page 273. Any questions, comments from anyone? Okay. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thanks, thank you.
Thank you.
Now we're moving over to DPW. Count is 1440, starting on page 38.
Hey, Joe.
Hello.
How are you?
Yourself?
Good evening, Melissa, the old town.
Good evening.
Hi, Melissa.
And again, thank you for that conference call.
I also want to
Very
introduce
enlightening.
Melissa, you guys know Jill already, and Carrie Ann couldn't make it. She's also our stellar fiscal person that keeps us all running. So,
Before I open it up to questions or comments, do you have anything you'd like to state?
I would, yes. Just we've had a great relationship, and we appreciate all your time and efforts. Your accessibility as chair, it was seamless going from Carl, who's great, and having this open dialogue, and then obviously the support from all of you guys as legislators. We saw some really great benefits from even the ARPA program, which allowed us to do so much more this past year. So I would like to share a couple of them, just so, you know, the ones that they'll highlight, because again, this is the year, you know, really year 2.5 of the DPW as it's been rolled out, and I think this year we really hit our stride. You know, getting all the divisions to work as one, and it really showed in what we got done. So I'll start off with the Fire Training Center, Peekskill Hollow Road, Sprout Brook Bridge, Bridge 5, Maybrook Rail Trail, which they'll be riding bikes across it within 6 weeks, is the number. It also gives accessibility for Sheriff's Department and DSS to do there's a lot of problems on that side of the trail, so that'll help. Starting Fair Street project was huge for us. I mean, it's a decades-old project that I know it's a nightmare for the local residents right now, but I think this time next year, it'll be in the past, and it's the betterment for the whole community is going to be seen and phenomenal. The Youth Bureau is going to open up this month, and I can't wait for you guys to see it, because I know some people want us to knock that building down, you know, and it would have been a sin. So the main farmhouse it looks awesome already, but I don't want to spoil it. Just show up when you open up, please. Veterans Museum is going to look very cool also. It's giving them a home in a prominent place in the park where it'd be great to have like a pilot kid, you know, open the park up during the summer next year, so the public can go in there. It will be air conditioned, so it'll be a place to get out and get a little bit educated on what veteran programs have, and then what the Putnam veterans have given back to this county. Many ADA upgrades. We just finished one that's actually at the sheriff's office. But as you guys came in today, that was all this year, including the the eating area in between buildings. What you don't see is over 4,500 feet of new drainage in our road system, which we've upgraded to what FEMA considers like a resiliency package kind of thing. So either larger piping, all the corrugated stuff is gone. So that's something you won't realize, but you'll benefit from it during the storm season. We've paved almost 10 miles of road this year, which is by far the most we've ever done. New boilers and rooftop units in the Supreme Courthouse, and also the Sheriff's Department. We introduced a Helix system, which is basically a work order program. It was free to the county through NYMAR. So the benefits are multitask. It's also an asset management, and it's also a preventive maintenance program. We rolled it out internally in May. By June, it went countywide. And I don't think there's we touch every department anyway, but there's not a department that is not using it right now. So the speed of work orders, the saving on windshield time, so not going to a job, looking at it first. You can actually take pictures of what needs to be done, send it to the Helix program, and it all, just the speed, the efficiency, that's been phenomenal. And this year, we're hoping to broaden that. We've already QR coded most of our equipment, so it describes the equipment, it describes what, when it needs to be maintained, all those kind of things. So we can kind of program a system where we get a preventive maintenance program. So let's say it's filters, May 3rd, and then it'll spit out September 3rd. So we'll have a program which will keep all our staff will be very busy, but I mean it's just efficient. We also had the first shared services agreement with all our other local DPWs. It's the only one like it in the state. It's a huge benefit. Mostly it is to us as DPW employees helping each other out, but the residents really benefit from this. Better buying power, struggling with even for us, we now also have the ability to train CDL drivers. So, we may not have been attractive because of salary or medical, whatever that was. Now we're a little more attractive because we can bring people in who aren't trained, train them, get them a job. All we ask is that they stay for a couple of years. And that was a huge benefit also for the local. We end up being a bit of a minor league system for the other municipalities who pay a little more. But we're good with it as long as they keep feeding us in the first place. We'll all benefit from it. We are currently working on over 120 projects, either overseeing, actually doing, or scoping, and that's not going to slow down. This budget we've put out, we're not asking for anything more, just keep us going, keep feeding us. And, you know, one of the things that I'll give you credit for, we say all the time now, is pave, baby, pave. This was the best year of paving in the county that I can ever recall. So thank you for the funding. And lastly, a little over 4 years ago, we had 6 red flag bridges in the county, which means they're shut down to commercial traffic, there's weight limits, there's reshoring that we had to do just to keep it viable for you know, the local traffic. And as of today, we have 0, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
That's all you guys, you know, it's.
I'm going to say this strictly from sitting in with some of your, I'm going to call it weekly job meetings, et cetera. You guys run like a business, not like government, which is why you get things done. And there's just 2 more things on the agenda before I turn out, which I really want to assist you with. One is we got to free up some of those WQIP funds for trucks, because we've been battling with the state. And the other thing is your minimum purchase level needs to be increased, so when people are on jobs, they don't have to go through the whole purchasing system. But thank you to everybody at DPW. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you.
So moving along here, anybody have anything on page 38? That includes the public, we're just to say for anybody.
It's not yours.
Okay? Hey, you may be sitting here, who knows? Okay? Page 39. Actually, I think that we should just say that based on this budget, the amount of money that DPW is going to be funded by tax, you know, Putnam County residents, has gone down. Okay, nothing on 239. Now we're going to jump to page 44. Your department, 1490, 1014. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure it's somewhere else in last year's budget. If you take a look at gasoline chargeback, 55,371. There's 175,000 requested and in the tentative as well, but previous years was 0. I imagine that was in another budget line.
Yeah.
Yes.
Leasing, they were in the 4,000 line.
I'm sorry, Bill?
They were in the 4,000 lines, they're now charged back.
Okay, so this is with DGS and a chargeback.
Wife system.
Yeah, okay. Anybody else on page 44? Page 45. Any questions, comments on 45? Okay. We're going to jump to maintenance and facilities, count 5111, pages 146 and 147. Let you guys digest that page, and then any comments or questions on page 146. Okay, going to move, if you're not going too fast, going to move to page 147. Comments or questions on 147? Okay. Now we're going to jump to Parks and Recs, 7110. All the board lines begin with 1008. That's page 215 through 220 of the book. Yes, Legislator Crowley.
5416. The actual for the feed for the farm animals was only $10,000 last year. It was $10,055 last year.
You're on page
215. 215 line 54146 was budgeted for $30,000, and historically we have used 24,000, and then last year we went down $14,000, we budgeted for 30 this year. Why did it go down so much?
They're on a diet.
Did we lose any animals? I figured.
Yeah, we replaced 2 horses.
RIP?
Horses with cows. They went back, they were on a loan, the horses. So
Oh, they were,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
And that was a big expense for us, and a little bit of a maintenance
So
nightmare
then-
because they're so massive.
So I have a question then, so we swapped out animals, so then obviously, was it just time without them that we didn't have, I know there was like 6 months or so without the other animals, now we have 2 more, so we're budgeting the same amount because we have the same amount of animals?
We're looking to add a couple more this year too. Whatever we don't spend goes back anyway, gets pulled December 31st.
No, I was just
right?
wondering why there was such a drop off, I didn't know if
Yeah,
they were on Ozempic or what was going on.
That
Yeah, they-
was also
That's
spent
as of, I don't know what the date is as of, the
January
10,000 is.
31st.
That's just to date.
You still have to
Yeah.
wait in a year too, so, and we are looking to get some new animals for that early next year, so.
Legislator Birmingham and Legislator Montgomery.
Yeah, just a quick question, out of curiosity, for farm animals themselves, we have 2,500. What do we use that for, to purchase actual animals like chickens?
Yeah,
Okay.
chickens, goats.
Just curious, okay.
So,
Typical farm animals.
Okay.
Legislator Montgomery.
So we are getting, okay, we're getting more animals, but we're not increasing the budget. for-
Less, so less maintenance, less expensive type animals. You know,
Okay.
your chickens and goats are self-sufficient, really. The horses were the,
Right, which, we didn't own the horses.
Right.
We were feeding them. We're going to replace the horses possibly with cows, or?
there are,
You have it already,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I guess back to why do we need so much feed? We're not gonna have we still have the same number item for purchasing animals. They're small scale animals, yet our feed is still at $30,000 and we're not feeding
Which
horses.
we expect that to drop and go back into general fund next year.
Okay.
We're hoping to get more animals to do less mowing, to be honest.
Yeah.
And are the animals we're getting, we will own them? We're not gonna
Yes.
be
Yeah.
housing animals we
Yep.
don't own anymore?
Right.
Okay, thanks.
Can I, now that we're on the animal kick, I have a question.
I'm all for
What is
that.
the process for getting animals? Do we raise them? Does it go through BOCES? Do we like ASPCA, we
Adjournment.
adopt them? Like how does it I'm being honest, how does it happen?
Maybe-
I mean,
I know we've gotten them donated
know.
before.
Yeah, mostly donated, some actually, we almost had a deal last year with Stu Leonard's, to house them in the off-season, which
So
would be
when?
great. But we would have
We're
made,
gonna sell them?
they would have paid for, no, just, they have that little farm.
Oh, right, they do.
They were gonna have us house them, which, that was, just a one-off kind of thing. Muscoot was also looking to help us out with some free, and that they become ours, but we're looking to get, not the ones on the older side, like me. We're trying to get the ones on the younger side.
Like our old horses that we had to,
Right,
I think they went to be Amish.
Anybody?
so.
Anybody, I will move the budget along, we can come back to this. That was a good question, though. Thank you. Yes, somebody, yes, the public, page 215.
Quick question, and I saw this on another page too, I'm assuming the equipment rental lease line. That's 54560. I saw this in another place too, where the actual 2025 budget came in the hundreds, and then the ask is back up to the thousands, which aligns with the original asks from prior years. Is that something similar to the feed where if we don't end up needing to rent or lease that equipment, that balance is going to be returned to the general
Yeah,
fund?
we just don't use it.
Or just we don't use
So
it?
lots of times, that may be a project where it might be a boom lift where we're painting the silos, or if we're doing a concrete job where we rent the paddle.
Yeah, scissor lift.
Or scissor lift is a good one, yeah, exactly.
I do have one more question, if I may. Thank you. And I'll ask this with the next item too. The rent for Tilly Foster Farm, that's for all of the buildings that we're renting. $128,726 that we're taking in for rentals for
412902, which is
Oh,
what
sorry.
I was referring to.
Top of the top of the
First
page,
page.
it's, ours is different than yours, I think.
Yeah.
412902. Rent Inc., Tilly Foster Farm, 128,726. I'm just curious, so it's the different buildings that we own, that we rent out, that we're getting rental income for. Those contracts, those leases will be up at some point, we renegotiate them. That none of them are renegotiated this year, none of the rents have gone up. I know, we have a major increase in utility expenses. So I guess what I'm asking, have any of those leases come up? I would have seen them. And what can we expect this year to renegotiate them and maybe increase some rents based on the utility expenses is what I'm concerned about.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't go through us, we just,
Okay.
that would definitely go through law and DGS, I guess now.
Well, I would think whoever's chairing physical, that would come through physical, and obviously there have been significant increases in all costs, not just, not just utilities, general maintenance costs. So let's keep that on the front burner, so when it is time, that everything is done properly and fairly. And I just noticed on that one, there's about $1,703 difference from last year's budget.
For rent? Oh, for rent,
Yep.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
you're right, sorry.
Yeah, there have been increases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else on page 215? Okay. 216. Okay, nobody on 216. I'm opening up to everybody, just so we can move faster. Yes? Is someone a question on 216?
Is it easier if I just sit back here
Sure.
and ask, so I don't have to keep getting up?
Sure.
The propane, that big increase in the ask for this year compared to the actual for last year, is that just the increase in energy prices we're seeing across the board? Or are we anticipating needing more to use more propane?
Page
20,000. They asked-
216,
They asked for 20,000 last year too.
54633.
Yeah. They
Same
asked-
question.
they'll just-
Same
They'll just go
amount.
back to sub-contingency.
Just a similar situation to the rental lease, if it's not used, it just goes back to the general fund. So we just want to make sure we have enough and then, okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
because the other thing with that is if we have a really cold winter,
They have to come to us.
instead of coming through.
Rather have it than have to come back and ask.
Yes.
Gotcha, thank you.
Okay,
Again, if I may,
please.
the rental, and this is the rental of the golf course itself and the golf course building.
This is just Tilly's table.
So the rental is just for Tilly's table, 424100?
The 10137, yes.
Okay, sorry, yeah, 10137. 10137.
On the top.
Yeah.
First line on the sheet.
I see, I'm just like, again, I'm sure utilities have gone up, but I'm glad to have the income. I'm glad to have the
I just
rental
want to
income.
chime in that everything's gone up, not just utilities.
But we have a lease that will expire.
Mhm. Anybody else on page 216? Okay. Page 217. Yes, Legislature Crowley.
52640 audiovisual, there's two lines there, so I'm assuming 52140 and 52640, were they a swap for the audiovisual? Because there's a $15,000 ask in a line that has always been zeroed out before.
Sometimes, at least in the past, there's another instance where this happens in tonight's agenda as well. And Bill Carlin might be able to answer this. Bill, do we still separate out equipment costs by under 5,000 and over 5,000?
Yes.
Is that way? So that's what it is. It's, I guess they're the under AV equipment, they're in the aggregate going to purchase $30,000 worth, but half of that they anticipate being under $5,000 per piece, and the other half is for over 5,000. It's just a way for, is it GASB 34 bill that has to require us to categorize it like that?
I'd like to know what exactly we're purchasing that's brand new for $15,000.
Well, no, there could be several things.
Yeah, no, I understand, but I still want to know what they're.
The ask there was for sound system, AV sound system. There's currently, it's way behind the times as far as
For which structures?
audio-visual for rental in the golf course.
Yes.
So,
You know,
okay,
I mean, poor Joe Cotter last year, God bless him, couldn't even get his,
okay. And then 52680, other equipment, we budgeted for 35,000. Oh, sorry, first I have 52670, kitchen equipment. What are we buying?
That's the walk-in.
Oh, it's a walk-in, I
That's
apologize.
a tri-flex mower, actually. The
Oh,
walk-in
very
cooler was a
different.
capital,
The
definitely a
refrigerator
capital
outside.
project.
So this is
yeah,
so this is a mower?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And then the other equipment on
You know where you're
52680.
going.
I'm sorry?
No,
Oh, sorry, Nancy.
no, I just exchanged looks with one of the
Go
committee
ahead.
members. No, you keep, I didn't have a
Okay,
question
So
yet.
DPW, the question is, what is the 35,000 other equipment line for?
That's for the mower, the tri-flex mower.
That's just
It was
the
a
mower.
purchase, yeah.
Okay, so then what
Then
was the kitchen?
15,000 for kitchen.
The 15 count, that's there every year for some, if we lose an oven, lose a fryer, lose, if we don't use it, it goes back again. It's not
Okay.
something that's,
Just wanted to, yeah, I didn't.
sorry, yeah,
It
there was
looked
two
that way,
separate.
but I just didn't know if it
Yep.
was planning
Okay,
ahead
so
or.
this is proactive, just in case to get
Yeah.
it done,
Yep.
okay. Any, yes?
if you have an extra dishwasher, we could send it over to.
Yes.
OSO.
Yes.
That's where Nancy was going, 'cause I'm in favor of that.
Phillipstown Senior Center,
Yeah, yeah. I'm in
Yes.
favor
no
of
more paper plates.
it. Yeah.
No more plastic.
Plastic, yeah. I
We'll go
agree.
for stainless fileware.
I thought that's where
technically-
you're going.
Oh, we didn't use the actual from last year, so it's a carryover, I assume, on the kitchen equipment, because it said it on the 25 actual was zeroed out. So we're just carrying it over
Yep.
from last year?
For-
Okay, so it's
on a
flat.
need basis, yeah.
Okay, terrific, thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, Legislator Montgomery and then Mr. Yaris.
So when we are free of the safe harbor laws that pertain to the golf course, will we be free of these expenses for a $50,000 walk-in and $15,000 in kitchen equipment? Or are we still going to have to outfit this?
That has to be negotiated.
That
That would have to be negotiated.
It's spelled out in the lease.
It's like you're
That's my
renting a
question.
house, you need a refrigerator, kind of.
Basically, you rent the box,
You're-
so whatever's inside the box has to be negotiated as far as, that's why giving them leaving them with good equipment, that then they can negotiate better.
Good question. Anything else?
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Yaris.
If I could just return to page 215, I'm sorry, 216 for 1 second.
No,
Thank you. That top line, the rental, I'm just looking at in the original and revised budgets for last year, the projection was 173,000, the actual came in at less than half that, and now we're back to projecting what?
That could just be rent collected so far.
So far, okay, that was gonna be my
So you-
question. What
yeah.
determines like those projections and how we anticipate what's gonna come in?
you still have the rest of the year,
Yeah.
so it's through August. And then we also did lose the youth bureau now is not an income, but
Got it. Okay, cool, thank you.
I like it, you got good questions tonight. Okay, page 217, anybody? Anything on 217? Going once, twice, 218.
oh, go ahead.
Ladies
Sure.
first. Of course. Go ahead,
You're
218.
alphabetically in front, okay. 52680, other equipment. We have 20,000. What is that other equipment there for? So I assume it's the same thing, 5,000 and 20,000, like we just talked about, but what is this specific?
That's
purchase?
also furniture, things like that, so
Wouldn't that go under the furniture line now?
it could be, oh, the skag mower, sorry. Two
Another
different
lawnmower?
notes. So again, a mowing equipment, which is,
Can we just get goats?
Are we gonna get goats?
we're
So
planning-
I think it's
Zero turn radius, skag mower is what you're
Yep.
looking for.
Rent
Okay.
that now.
Anybody else on 218? Dan?
A quick question on revenues. We got a new revenue line that started this year for vendor permit fees at $11,150, and we're continuing that. Was that somewhere else previous, or do we have new
Well,
vendors?
that's part of the fair, things like that. We've opened up the upper park now to many more functions that we never had before, including even Tilly itself. We're actually making
Good.
some,
And in 24 and 23, we haven't really focused on.
we really didn't, yep.
Good.
Michelle and Francine, you guys are happy? I see you over there, want to make sure, okay. Thumbs up, okay. Thumbs up from auditing, we like that, okay. 219,
I just see that we zeroed out building maintenance and repairs. I imagine that somewhere else was budgeted this year for, line 4710. We budgeted 23,000 so far, half year, let's say we're at 9,700, and then we have zero. Is that somewhere else, or are we?
That's from a law you crafted, I believe.
There's been so many.
That money was moved to the sub-contingency, and then they have to come back and request for you, so you know exactly where it's going.
A wise decision, why?
okay. Anybody else on 219? Okay, moving right along, 220.
There's no
No,
220.
we don't think we have that in.
Gotta go on to 229.
Yes, it's under part four, yeah,
Just a summary.
that's how they did it in the
Yeah.
Summary,
back.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the next two items we already covered. They were just segmented out because we thought that they might get a little more scrutiny. So being that there's nothing on 220, we're going to jump ahead to account 8745, soil and water, pages 249 and 250. Okay. Yes, Legislator Goulman.
249 tree program. We're not doing that this year? I know last year we were too late at it, but
No, you just passed it last
Yeah.
night, I believe.
I know, but I'm
Seedlings,
just
the
saying.
seedling.
Yeah,
It's
it's
8,000.
8,000 to Cornell Cooperative,
Okay.
Part C.
Does the audience have a question? Yes.
So, on that, sorry, I'm all the way in the back here. I think it's a longer discussion that can be fleshed out, and that is that confusion between department and then district aid funds. So we use district aid funds that you guys just approved for the $8,000 for 2026 in district aid. So there really shouldn't be any line item for tree program coming out of general fund because the district financials already paid for it.
It's
So
zero.
I was going
It's
to
zero.
make a comment on that. There's a lot in this that I think should give some clarity. And I think that's the problem with the department versus the district.
That's a very accurate point, so.
But
I
it's
don't-
listed as zero.
Which line item?
So we're not funding the tree program this year
From the
from the general fund.
Part C funding is funded.
Correct, so it shouldn't appear on this budget.
It's zero.
And it doesn't, it's zero.
It's zero.
And at the same token, what's 439101, the incoming 60,000?
That would be
That's part
District aid.
A.
That's part 80.
That's A.
Yeah, but does
That's
that
for
go?
next year.
But-
That we'll receive, right?
My
We
question
didn't
is, does
know.
that go to the district or does that go to the county?
The district board would approve to allocate it, to reimburse the county because it's district funds, but for 2026, until we get it, we haven't received it, and the board's never voted on that, or been made aware of it.
Okay, so is that a bookkeeping issue or is this a procedural thing that we're not following and we need to follow? Silence.
So we can't count
Can I
it
ask-
as revenue?
Can I ask-
That's the
Yeah.
So it
vision.
says $60,000 in '24. So is this just, we're assuming we're gonna get the $60,000 every year? That's kind of my question. So we're assuming it, but we don't, so we're putting it in the budget, we're assuming we're gonna get it based on the audit that they do and that everything comes back okay.
But
One second.
the county does not get it.
We
The
have to
the
request it,
district gets it, and then we have to vote on whether or not we give it to the county for these purposes.
but further than that, if we
So
don't have.
that raises the question of the previous years.
But further than that, if we don't provide the financials, so that 60,000 is a max of 60,000 that the district, that district aid maxes out at a 50% match at 60,000. So if we have 120,000 as a soil and water district in administrative staff, personnel, certain qualifying funds and expenses, we report that to the soil and water district aid program, and then they will reimburse us at a maximum 50% reimbursement of 120,000, which is then 60,000. But that's why in years past, you see sometimes it's 57. That depends on the treasury reports we send up to them, which were, that's why we've been asking for a lot of that information.
So on that too, though, none was used in 2025. So we have the 60,000, obviously, it's saying here from last year, right, from 2025. So it's sitting in there, we used nothing. So the 60,000 is reflective of 2025 moving into 2026 because nothing's been touched, correct?
Well, I think the confusion is it's district funds that are being shown as county funds, and they're not, right? And I think that's the confusion.
I see.
Yeah, Heather's wheels are spinning.
This is a broader discussion that probably needs to be sort of fleshed out, but yeah, these are earmarked funds that are for a specific purpose, and the county is basically holding them, and helping with the accounting function and the, oversight, but it's not county funds. It's
Right, so-
designated earmarked funds.
Right, so my question is, to be correct, do we need to show that in the county budget? Because because we're basically the placeholder for another entity.
I defer to Mr. Carlin on what the, that's not a.
And actually, maybe let's cut.
But I think that there's a number of things that, probably merit further discussion on this topic without derailing,
The budget.
this budget. Much as I love spending time with you all, I just, but I think that this is important and worth further discussion.
Okay, so if we need to have a special physical to discuss this, I'd be more than happy to schedule so we can move on here.
Yeah, I think that would be.
Yeah, I don't think that's here tonight.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. So-
Yeah.
We'll have to.
Yeah, we can do, okay, anything else on page 249?
I have.
Yes.
Okay. I was looking at the ag board, 54554. It
Mhm.
looks like there's $1,000 in 2025 and actual 113 was spent and 0 requested. So where is the $900 that would be left over?
Yes,
Does anyone know that? Oh.
yes.
Well, I don't know that.
Oh.
I don't know. I actually had 2 questions pertaining to that. So one, because I know, so the chairwoman of the ag board couldn't be here tonight. I don't know if you guys went over the planning budget.
We did.
We did.
Was there there was $1,000 that, and I'm paraphrasing from the correspondence she sent to you guys. I know Commissioner Gross was great and sent the $1,000 request in. The board had kind of discussed asking for $2,500 and sent kind of an itemized list of what that would be utilized for 2026. I think the board met and there was a delay in communication, so I don't know if that's possible to entertain. So they sent correspondence to that effect. The confusion is the soil and water department and the planning department have cross-funded over, it's like 1 year of planning, 1 year of soil and water, and so I think why that money is still
So
there
it's mixed in.
in soil and water this year is because no one knew which department was funding the ag work this year.
Okay.
So even though they had initiative.
So how do we get it out? That's my question.
So it's in planning, if you look at page 236, I believe.
This year it's in planning, but
Right.
for 25, there is allegedly a 900-something balance that no one knew existed on the ag.
Spend it.
So there was a proposal
Can you
for
spend it?
training and
Yeah.
education, but the ag board was just trying to find out how they go about doing it.
Okay, through the chair, who has the authority to spend that?
554.
Who has the authority to spend that money that's left over? Do they?
But that's county money.
That's county money,
They have to
so
come
the county
every
has-
year.
they have to come
Yeah, have to
and
put
go
in a
through the
request,
process.
go through the whole
Yeah, they're
process.
not a
It's free.
district, they're a
Yeah,
county board,
okay.
okay.
Yeah, and the $1,000 is there, it's in an ag line on page
For soil and water.
236. No, it's under planning.
Oh, for planning this year,
Planning,
last year
it's
was soil and
on
water.
line 54554, agricultural board, $1,000 on page 236.
Okay, page 249, anything else? Okay, 250 is basically summary. Any questions on 250?
Are
Yes.
we going to address the summary of that stormwater department and a special physical?
I think not, what I would say is we will have it addressed at a physical
Before
meeting.
the budget's adopted and...
Before the budget is adopted, I would
And
think.
I guess
Not gonna happen.
No?
There won't be a physical meeting.
That's right, there won't be.
November.
Yeah, that's not gonna, I mean, if this has been an issue since 1966, we're not gonna wrap it up in 2 weeks. This is gonna take a lot of discussion in our physical services committee
And
meetings
audit,
to be able
probably.
to do it the right way. We don't wanna rush anything through, but we also wanna do the right thing, so I don't see how it's gonna happen
Yes.
this month.
To that end, then I would have a lot more comments on just making sure that the legislature is like all on board of like what is district funds, what is county funds, what is raised by taxation, and what is a district appropriation, like a reimbursement from the district that hasn't necessarily been made, just to make sure there's clarity. Because to your point, you can't maybe solve the problem that's been going on from 1966 today, but to make sure that the legislature is aware of what revenues are real and what revenues are perceived and possible for next year that aren't concrete at this point.
Okay. If you would indulge me, let's revisit this after we've gone through everything else, because I think we're getting pretty close here. Thank you. Okay.
Chairman,
Yes?
could I just ask that if people in the audience are going to make comments to come forward
Sure.
to the microphones because people at home can't hear it?
Absolutely,
Thank you.
Legislator Russo.
Sorry,
Okay.
gotta walk.
250, anything on 250? Okay. Now we're jumping to 262, which, Tommy, do you want to do this, or do you want to Bill? This is basically incoming funds for county roads. Yes?
Yes.
Of course, Dave.
Bill, Harlan, this is,
Yep.
all of the meetings we've had so far, we're dealing with the general fund. And now we're stepping into the county road fund, which is a different fund, of course. Can you just give us a little, at least me anyway, a little refresher as to the fund system? I see, obviously on page 262, we just have revenues, but those revenues are, just like with the county fund, they all balance out. Just like the general fund, they all balance out. I guess.
Correct.
Yeah.
They balance the fund out to zero. The real property tax makes the revenues equal the expenses.
And also use of fund balance.
Yes, yep.
Why do we separate it like that? I know everybody does, but just to give myself and my colleagues,
Well, what
as
one
opposed
is,
to a road fund, as opposed, why isn't this in the general fund?
because each fund has to be accounted for separately, at least
Okay.
according to the
The
state.
state
The
law,
5
state-
funds, yes.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
Yeah,
That's my
the
question.
1, 2, 3, 5, and 9,
Okay,
and 10, debt service.
okay, yep, of course, yep.
They're at 252.
262. You have a question, Nick?
You're at 252.
262.
Oh, I need,
You want to go back to
We don't have to.
we don't
We don't
have
have
252. I wanted to go back to 251.
We don't have
We don't have
251.
251, unless it's a carryover from 250. Let's take a look real quick.
No, we don't have 251.
Well, there's 251 Tilly Foster Agricultural Program? That's not us?
No, that's corporate extension.
Might be
Yeah.
rules,
Thank you.
There we go.
might be one of the rules.
Okay. Now 263, traffic control.
Air traffic?
Thank you. There's not very many, so flights are delayed. 54647 on page 263, subcontractors. Is it because of the capital projects and all the paving and the Fair Street that we need subcontractors, or?
That's primarily line striping and, for the main roads and then tree work, when we do outside contractors for tree work.
Okay.
And thank you for that, because the power's been a lot better.
Well, NICEAG has, definitely.
Yeah, when you
part
don't
of the
take
system.
care of the trees,
They have
they
numbers,
fall,
yeah.
they interfere with transmission lines and power goes out, okay? Anybody else on 263?
This is,
Yes,
what
Bill.
is this again, the subcontractors?
Line
So-
striping and tree work.
We did a lot of work on Oscawana actually with outside contractor tree service.
Yeah.
Lots of times if it's near tree lines, things like that, we don't put our people,
So that comes out of this
comes
fund?
out of our fund.
Okay.
Line striping also. So,
Okay, moving along to 264, maintenance roads and bridges, 5110. Okay. Page 265. I'm sorry, my mistake, page 264. Any questions or comments on 264?
52160, highway and street equipment. We don't need anything this year? We're just good? On page 264, 52160, zero.
Highway and street equipment.
Yeah.
Oh, was that moved?
Yeah,
I think it was.
52180, yeah.
I'm sorry, it was
52180, I believe was moved too, is that right?
52, so it was moved to 52180.
Next
Oh,
one down.
other equipment was moved to?
it's included in the 8,000 of other equipment?
Okay, and what is the other equipment that we're,
Most of that's chainsaws, things like that, things that are smaller, pressure washers. Chainsaw's a big one, pole saws, things that you use in the field, especially for the emergency call-outs, kind of stuff.
thank you.
Okay, so now we're going to go back to 265, which is maintenance roads and bridges. These are mostly financial. Any questions on 265? Now, 266, I refuse to use the letter S, so we're just going to call it no removal. I'm hoping for a good winter. Now, no, okay. Okay.
I really want Thunder Ridge to do well this year.
Where does, the-
I don't know if they're open.
Sorry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They are, good. Yes, Bill?
where does the salt come out of? What line?
Supplies and materials.
Shaker.
Yeah.
What?
A shaker.
Supplies and materials.
That was
good.
I don't see it on here.
That was a good one.
54410.
That's why I like
Bill, the 556,500, 54410 is what the salt is.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, Bill.
No pepper. Yes, Bill?
I would remind the board, years ago, and I'm assuming it hasn't changed, the purchase of salt is automatically defined as an emergency purchase. So if, God forbid, we do have a bad winter, and if we're exceeding the budget, we exceed the line, and then we come to the board to fix it later. Just so everybody knows, it's been that way for years.
Which we have done.
We have done that in the past, hopefully we won't have to do that.
Yeah, don't do that this year.
Okay. Anybody else on 266?
Yes.
Yes. Tony?
Yeah, so on the salt, we're asking for 100,000 less. I guess we're projecting we'll have a better winter, less snow, because we're at,
No, it's the same as last year, it's just the revised budget from 2025 included rollovers from the previous year, so there was a surplus from the year prior, so.
I see.
Yeah.
Did we overbuy that? I think we overbought that year because it was low, wasn't the price low, and they were expecting it to
And
go up.
there's also something, if you don't order
I was
it,
gonna
you
say
don't
that.
get it.
If you don't
in the
use it,
future.
they don't
No,
give it
no.
to you the following year.
Yes, yeah. So that's, and our storage facility, thank you, is improved. Okay, 267, the now removal state funds.
We made money on that.
Well, this is reimbursement from the state roads that DPW takes care of. Any questions, comments on page 267? Okay. 268 is the dam and another fund. This is the road machinery fund. And this one can be either handled by, if there's any questions, by either Commissioner Carlin or Commissioner Fieri. Any comments or questions on page 268? No? Yes, Mr. Harris.
And Bill, maybe this is for you. Sorry, microphone. It's not a microphone here.
There's no microphone.
Laura, can I sit with you and grab my ear? The use of fund balance line
Yes.
on that page. Last year, it looks like there was an ask of around 478,000, ended up being zero, and now for 300,000. What determines why that ended up being zero, and then why there's an ask for 300,000?
Well, the the line won't be determined until the year ends and you close out the fund balances. So it depends on what the actual revenues and expenditures are through the year end. And what we do is we take a portion of the fund balance that's remaining to use to offset the tax levy for the following year. And that's what that line is.
Thank you.
And Bill, at the end of the year, when, because it's not only this fund, but other funds use
Yes.
fund balance, which is a tool that we use.
Yes.
To the extent we do have some left over, which every year we pretty much do. We don't use all the fund balance that we budget. Does it, among the funds, does it get split proportionally as far as what's needed and what's not, or is there an allocation?
Yes, usually it's been balanced over a period of years, a smoothing effect. You don't want to use it all and then end up with no guard against if there's a deficit and it's used out going a number of years.
No, I
2 or 3.
get that, but in one particular budget year, let's say in the aggregate, we this year, for instance, I think it's about $6 million in fund balance. On December 31st, 2026, hopefully, we wouldn't have used all that $6 million.
Right.
And for those lines for those funds where we haven't used all of the fund balance, do we proportionally put actually for those funds that we do use the fund balance, do you put it in proportionally up to the amount that's in the budget, or?
Oh, yes, yeah, because if it was more than that and there was a deficit, I have to come back to you and close that deficit. Knock on wood, we haven't had to do that. Hopefully we won't, because he won't use the S word, I won't use the R word. If there's an R.
Retire?
No. No, that one I plan to use.
Rehire?
Our session.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Use the R word.
Oh, I thought you meant reserves.
Okay. Page 269. Any questions or comments on 269?
Machinery.
Okay, none of those. I'm retiring page 269. And 270 is pretty much a summary page. And DPW, thank you. We're done.
May I make a
Yes,
comment, please?
sure.
Because I have not done it enough throughout the year, and I'm sorry I didn't say this to Commissioner Barosa, but I just want to thank you for all of your help this year and throughout the year. It's just like anytime I have a question, anytime there's anything happening in my district, you guys are really helpful, and I appreciate your support for the municipalities in my district most of all, because I know the level of support you give to them is beyond anything we've seen in the past, you know, from being a town board member to now. I really appreciate it. And, you know, there's been some real difficult issues that we have to deal with, and I really appreciate working together with you and going to the public and having to work on those issues, and look forward to more.
You coming up next year too.
And getting some things resolved. I'm happy to see, I know it wasn't you, but it was, I think, because we were complaining about the MTA bridge at Upper Station Road, and that was being fixed. So, and now I want to get the issue with that parcel of land on Fair Street.
Fair Street, yep. We're working on
Resolved.
that as we speak. So.
Yeah, whatever I can do to help with that. So, no, it just, thank you is all I can say.
Thank you.
A lot.
We appreciate your
Yes,
appreciation.
thank you.
And to Barbara too, and I'm sorry I didn't say it to Barbara.
And thank you for your patience
I
with
hope
everybody
you
on Fair
feel the
Street.
same way after they put a billboard with my face on it that says "Miss Me Yet," but okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Final is finance. You're up, Commissioner Carlin. And we're starting at page 148. Any comments?
140.
Yes, this is MTA subsidy.
Oh, yeah.
That's been the same
That's been a
since
plan.
I started, and it'll probably be the same after I leave. It's set by transportation law.
I
It's
know.
the same 380, 276, and I don't ever envision it changing.
Okay, any questions or comments on that? No, 149. This is a
We
railroad.
should get a full vote is my only comment. For our contribution, we only get a half a vote
Yep.
on the MTA board.
445,894. So I guess we're not getting that this year?
Which
The federal
CARES Act.
or-
yes,
yeah.
yep, you should have known about that. That's been coming for a couple of years. The CARES Act money ran out, so now you pay the full cost. The expense is right in line. It's set by, I think it's section 1277, transportation law years ago. It's just a formula cost of living increase.
Okay, and any questions? Nope. And 248 is for fish and game, which is flat for years.
I can speak for them, I guess. You know, I've known Ray Merlotto. I'll give a plug to him for years. I know there's new leadership now, Mike, but fantastic organization. They stock the reservoirs and they provide a lot of valuable programs.
I'm waiting for Legislator Montgomery to tell me she's catched the tag fish. Okay?
I don't benefit from this program at all.
You don't fish in reservoirs? Okay.
My son does, he loves it. Likes his
Okay.
rowboat on West Branch.
And
Pheasants?
now, capital projects, 258 to 261.
Yes.
Yes, Legislator Birmingham.
Bill, just a quick question on page 258.
Yeah.
Under transfer of debt service, I guess under this particular fund, we don't have any debt service for that, or is it put somewhere else? It's zeroed out.
Which one, the,
Yeah, it's.
59020, 59057. the very
yes,
first one, fund transfer.
that'll be done this year. And you're using the debt service reserve. When we do debt service, you'll see it's on like the last page of the budget, the 4.7 million.
Okay.
It's the callable bond. But I would point your attention to the line before that.
But Bill, before we leave that line, we do have other debt service other than the debt we're paying off early, don't we, or no?
Correct.
Okay,
No,
so
no, yes.
would that be there or no?
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, it wouldn't be in this.
No, it wouldn't be in
somewhere
this line,
else?
no.
Okay.
Because this is the transferring of the callable bond reserve from the general to the debt service fund in '25, so it can be used in '26.
Got it,
Oh,
so
okay.
and is that why, and we haven't done it yet, we haven't
No,
transferred
I
yet.
did that at
that's
the end of the
why-
year,
And that's
yeah.
why the actual it matches this year's budget.
Right.
Because we
And
haven't done it
at
yet.
the end of the year, you'll see the 4725.
Okay.
Do you
Increased by that
expect any significant delta between the two?
No, the fund transfer has been made. That's why the actual, you see the budget and the actual. I've made the entry, and you'll see on the last page of debt service, the callable bond line 5161, I think,
Okay,
top of my head, and you'll see the 4.7 million coming off.
thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else, questions,
Now,
258?
yeah, but I would just point out the line above that, which is very important. Again, we're using 5.5 million to fund capital projects instead of borrowing. It's a very important initiative. I congratulate the board and the county executive for doing this in a time when most governments, especially the feds, are increasing debt, and you guys are doing the exact opposite.
that was
You're
something-
lowering debt.
that was-
It's been a very important initiative, and I congratulate you for continuing it.
And your predecessor was very, very instrumental in doing that. And the other thing is, I was gonna say for DPW, when we have to wait for them for a bond, they can't move for months. So as we go through the rest of this budget process, I want to throw it out there that I'm in favor. I'd rather take it directly from capital, and if necessary, to float the bond, repay it, so they can start moving immediately instead of waiting for months. One of the things that they've done is they've been very time efficient.
Well, careful there. I can feel Dan cringing. If you're gonna do that, there are certain resolutions that need to be passed first.
You want to reimburse yourself.
Yes, if you want to reimburse yourself, you have to still pass a resolution that says you're going to reimburse
Not a
yourself.
problem, and I know Heather's right here in the
Or we
room.
could issue them taxable, but we don't want to do that either.
Okay?
Yeah, with all due respect to Heather, you get a bond expert up there.
Yeah. He
Here's
has to
the
recuse
legislator,
himself.
he's got to not giving any
He's
legal
gonna leave the
advice.
room.
No, they get it for free.
260. So anybody else on 258 through 261? And
It's all zeroed out.
Okay, everything's zeroed out, and the same thing for 271, which is a different fund. We're good? Any questions, comments? I want to thank everybody.
Thank
We
you.
did do this in an hour, so thank you.
Thank you.
for the budgets. Now, before we adjourn, if anybody wants to address this other thing briefly, because I want to get a little more information. This is what regarding the soil and water. I mean, we got a couple of people, if we could spend a couple of minutes, I think it might be helpful, so we can figure it out.
It's not part of this question.
Okay, so, well, if we want, okay, we can adjourn the meeting, and if people want to
Do
say,
other business.
it's not on the agenda,
Not on the agenda.
what's the right way to do it?
It's gotta
This
be.
is the budget,
If this is
so,
other business, this would not be a part of the
okay,
budget.
so let's adjourn, and we have people here so we can talk, is that what we need to do? Because, you know,
Can I just say on record a quick thing that's not gonna go into other business, but just so that everyone knows that, like, this is why the Soil and Water District Board has been trying to have these conversations before tonight. You know, it's the legislature's responsibility to be the, you know, fiscal overseers of, you know, to make sure county taxpayer dollars are going to things that aren't already funded by state aid programs. And you know, in theory, this district, Soil and Water District, has the money to fund what a county department is allegedly funding, right? And so that's the confusion we were trying to get ahead of. You know, we got appointed to this board in June or July. We've been trying to just track down, you know, records, receipts, go through district law. We tried to, you know, IMAs, MOUs, things like that, to make sure that ahead of the budget, as long as you guys have the information that you need to move forward, but as far as I see it, like those district aid program, like the funding lines that are there, in the district law, like their district funds that have to be, you know, reimbursed to the county, which have not been done to my knowledge or this board's knowledge to this point. So as long as you know that moving forward, I hope we can have conversations to just clear it up sooner than later for the taxpayers. Because if the money's there from programs that we help continue on, there's no reason for the taxpayers to pay for it.
How much are we talking about?
800,000 allegedly.
Yeah.
And on average,
That's only for one
you know,
part.
Part A is 60,000 every year. Part B is for a conservation project, which we're already getting a lot more applications than in years past because we pushed it out past municipalities to the public, so that would be for 6,000. But we're not guaranteed that because that gets submitted November 1st this year for next year, so we can't count that for next year's budget. But then on average between years past, $240,000 to up to $300,000 would be from performance measures. We do our job, we get that money to then put back into the county.
But the accrual that you're talking about too
Yeah.
is there, so.
And so it's there, and I think honestly, why it's there is because it's been this confusion of department and district, and I think taxpayer dollars may have been spent when we could just use the district money. And that's why we're happy as a board to do whatever we can to clarify that, to work in collaboration with the county, not to run away on you guys, but to make sure that we're using these funds that we already get from volunteering the way we do. That way it doesn't have to come out of taxpayer dollars.
and basically, you want more than a Post-it.
I would love a ledger because February 1st, if we don't put in a treasurer's report, which I found out, you know, the county can be the treasurer, like the holder of the account, but it's typically 2 directors, which is board members, that have to fill out that audit every year to send up to the state. And like we've been told, they're starting to get more stringent. The money is growing. Money's growing, they're going to put more eyes on it. So if we can't do that, we don't get any more money. We lose a lot of funding. And so we're trying to get ahead of that, knowing how things take time. We get that, and that's February. But we do have a responsibility to do that. It's our responsibility as the board under the law to sign off on things. Any of the fiscal things, any of the, you know, programs in process, and just the confusion. It's a soil and water conservation district. It's not the most glamorous thing in the world. So, you know, since 1966, nobody's been as passionate, I don't think, about soil and water as the 5 of us now. But, you know, you were, right? But to find this district operations manual is 297 pages of things no one ever wants to read. So it has everything in there, opinions from the state comptroller. Like, I hope we can have that conversation even immediately after budget. I just want to make sure from the board that, like, we're clarifying. You know, it's not that we don't support anything that's happening. We just want to clarify for that fiscal transparency, those district funds, the performance measures and the state aid, the conservation program and the tree program, those are funds the board hasn't discussed for next year. We didn't even know about this budget process for the legislature, so I just want to make sure this legislature knows before you approve that, because that is an unknown.
We've been on the board since
June, July.
Wait.
Let me adjourn the meeting, we'll continue. Okay? Can I have a motion to adjourn, please?
Wait.
Yes?
Are you going to continue this discussion? That'll be an illegal meeting.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, you can't,
So keep it
unless.
open.
Okay, so we'll keep it open?
So wait, one of you
Thank
guys,
you.
sorry, one of you guys, when the 8,000, I'm sorry, when the seedling program was discussed to be spent for next year, one of you two were sit on the board for the ag board. It was, so it was proposed, but then the failure was it wasn't voted on in your meeting, correct?
No, so this year it was, this year the
Okay.
district,
That's
because I had
September.
seen what happened last year, because we were here for a long time. I saw what happened last year. I think the confusion was when you see tree program in this budget, it's in a department. So that would assumedly come out of general funds because the departments in this department is raised by taxation. A independent district or like EDC or things like that is a county contribution. I think that's where that confusion was. I think it was just, it happened that way, where it may have shown under soil and water, but it came out of general funds where the board never took district funds to pay for it. A lot of minutia. But this year, like we knew last year, it was a timing thing. They needed to get it approved by legislature, go through those 10 steps to get the funding. And the board just wasn't, it wasn't a full board. It wasn't, you know,
Yeah, because I was
fully-
gonna say, you guys were, I think Cassandra, you were there the day that it was,
Sure was.
it was brought up, talked about, was gonna go to the ledge.
But I was not on the board. at
Right,
that
you're
time.
not on that board, okay, I just wanted, yes, I just
Yeah,
wanna make
so
sure you were
this year,
there.
we said, we saw that happen last year, we want to make sure that district monies pay for this, and county monies and county general fund did not pay for
Like
this,
there-
because that's what we're here for.
There's been money from this department, as we've seen through previous budgets that show expenditures. But we've rolled up over
It should have been
$829,000
pulled out of
in
that
part
instead
savings.
of out of the taxpayer
That's a
pocket.
direct
Agreed.
savings immediately. If we start doing things correctly, that's an
Agreed, but it
immediate
has to
savings
be
to the
done
taxpayer.
correctly, as
So
you
not
said.
funded by
Voted through-
taxation.
That's right.
Yeah, voted, needs to go through ag, ag's gotta bring it to you guys have to vote on it.
Not through ag, it would literally, they come straight to soil and water district, if it functioned the way the 99.5% of other soil and water districts, they come to the soil and water district board. We then say, we vote on it, we pass a resolution, and then even state comptroller opinions are here that say, the state comptroller is who oversees us, like we are a, you know, public body.
Right, but that was more for the 4-H fair, which is why that was just, remember?
The 4-H is separate, yeah.
Right, that's why it went through those motions. It
Yep, 'cause
started
they
at ag
could
because it was
come.
one of their, but it essentially could just go
It could
from
just come straight
Christine
to
to
the
you
water.
guys
Yeah.
and then call it a day and it could be settled.
Because the ag board is an advisory board, whereas the soil and water conservation district board is not advisory in nature. Like, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Typically, the
Yeah.
conduit goes to the ag
Nancy,
board.
you had something, Bill, I see your body language here, you're not happy.
Do you want me to?
Please, Nancy.
So, I don't think it has to be, first of all, I want to apologize because I feel like, as a legislator, I should have dove into this over these past years and really tried to understand it. And it appears now nobody really has a clear understanding. But what I do know since diving into it recently is that it's clearly defined by state law. The relationship between the soil and water district and the county is clearly defined by state law. And I think there could be a simple fix for us is just to, not so formally as an IMA, but informally as what an MOU is more like a handshake. It's a memorandum of understanding that can define just the operational issues, the funding, the structure of using the law department, using our IT department, using our office space, and we just
Through
need
the
a
chair, I mean, that's already addressed, that's what the statute's for. The lack of understanding is just a matter of not having operationalized the statute. But we can't have an MOU to then seek to, somehow shorthand what's already like statutory. I mean, I think that the procedure already is all spelled out, the procedure all exists. That would be sort of reinventing the wheel. And I don't think that, I think that what needs to happen is just education and understanding of the statute as it exists.
To Legislator Montgomery's point, though, I think, and why we pushed forward, we wanted to enter into, we've now hijacked your budget meeting, I'm sorry you asked for this, we wanted to push forward that intermunicipal agreement or MOU, call it what you will, formal or not. It was something that every time, the district law defines it like in the law that the county law department is who would assist us with any legal advice and things of that nature. It explicitly says there's opinions from state comptroller that what the district board authority is, what the financial and fiscal authority is. It goes through all that. It was putting something in writing so that when we ask, it wasn't, no, because that's the way it's always been done. No one's going to read 300 pages. Well, I mean, the law department will, and perhaps the Minister of Finance. I don't want
Law department has.
to. You won't find many, to find the district operation manual, to get that from the Soil and Water Conservation Committee, who assumes we know this already. This was a lot, this isn't all of it, this was a lot to get. It was hard to track down. So I don't even blame the legislature, because the struggle I had to go through to get this large stack was months of effort. So I wouldn't expect, any of the legislators to do that, current or in the past, but to put something on record, whether it's an IMA, whether it's an MOU, whether it is a scrap of paper that all of you sign that say, we understand the law, here is the district role authority, it is a district, and the district is here to support the county, work with the county, we're here for that. But let us do the best thing we can in accordance with the law.
If I may,
clears a lot out.
for an IMA would be a more formal agreement. That's in the sense of a contract, and then you'd have to have your own insurance, and that's my understanding of what an IMA is. And a memorandum of understanding is just, like you said, making
A memorandum of understanding has no force in effect without an attendant contract. So I mean, it just isn't the proper form. What needs to happen is, as I said, is education. It's just a matter of just, all they're seeking to do is to have some sort of acknowledgement that we're all on the same page, which I think that we can accomplish through, discussions, meetings, things like this,
Putting them on the agenda and having discussion, and then maybe having a quarterly or.
We'll come every month, we're here, every meeting.
I know you
no
are.
No shortage there.
But
the IMA,
meeting or some
was
sort of agreement amongst how often we expect to hear from you, just like other.
every day.
Which, just for the record, that part of the relationship with the county is spelled out in the Soil and Water District law. The collaboration with the county is supposed to be an ongoing collaboration. That's the word used. So none of this conversation is about saying like, let's remove the relationship with the county and do our own thing and, hope
Well,
for
you
the
have a
best.
legislator that sits on
Two.
there. Well, two, sorry, I apologize, yes, two, Laura and Greg, so sits there, so the collaboration is always there.
that-
We
That's
have
correct.
liaisons. But also, I
oversight's
think
built
maybe
in.
just having the discussion with everybody, aside from having them come here, and you guys come here, which is fantastic, it's great. I was you at one point. Some people can remember that. They hated me for it. But I think, maybe just setting up some sort of quarterly meeting or something where we have a discussion and say, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we're spending. This is what we've
We'd
done.
love to.
This is the education. This is where we're going and moving forward. These are the programs we're supporting. This is the education we're giving.
We get credit under our performance measures, right? We talked
We'll
about
grade you.
that.
It'll
We
be
get
great.
credit, then we get more money when we come here and tell
So
the
then I think
legislature.
that's it. So I think we put you on the physical services agenda, Chairman, and then come up with some sort of, quarterly or whatever, bi-monthly, whatever it may be, FYI or discussion from Soil and Water. Something like that. Is that education and a formal way? Is that a good way to start it?
That's a great way, a start.
Okay, cool.
We would
So
all love a start.
I will send out a memo tomorrow requesting that you guys be put on the next physical services.
Not even necessary. We'll just
Okay, we'll
do it.
just do it. Okay, well then there you go, you got it done. So it's gonna be put on for discussion, so bring whatever you wanna talk to us
300
about.
pages with
and
me.
we-
Yep.
Cool, and we will talk about it, and we'll get started, and we'll figure out, I may not even be here, so we'll,
That's not
we'll-
fair.
Let's see, so, I'm saying.
Oh, at the meeting, okay.
No, I mean, I'll be at the meeting, but moving forward, we
And
don't
I
know,
think that's the
so.
point, is like this legislature, right? We go through all this and you are all receptive and want to read all the district manual laws and all that. And then next year, what happens? We're back to square one. That's why I think whether it's an IMA, an MOU, or I don't care what anyone calls it, something that is continuity that every legislature in the future understands what it is
Well, we
and the board isn't starting from
Look
scratch.
into a manual or
Through the
something.
chair, just
Yes.
so everyone understands, I'm very full in favor of everything that Nancy is suggesting and that Cassandra is suggesting in terms of clarifying. I mean, it would make my life much easier. You know what I mean?
Heather is tired of getting phone calls from me on a
I know,
weekly basis.
I know everyone loves speaking to me, but my concern is this, is that the law is extensive, and whatever we put in writing, we're gonna be trying to distill that down. And if we are somehow mistaken, or, you know.
Possibly a
Or miss
pop-
something, or don't put something there, and then this is what we've
Resolution
agreed to,
139.
you know.
Possibly a
and-
simple overview,
Yes,
so everybody knows how we're operating.
And the thing is that if we are not sufficiently, and we're agreeing and obligating ourselves on this, I think that that's a mistake. I think that the law speaks for itself, and that it is incumbent upon us through meetings, discussion, you know, and everything, to educate ourselves.
And follow the law.
And to follow the law, and I don't think that it's necessary to try to duplicate what is already written in some sort of shorthand that could then be misunderstood, misconstrued, misinterpreted. It, perhaps not by us, because we did it and we would understand, but future people doing it, it just seems to be a recipe for trouble.
So what we can do is, so
Start
it's
with the
gonna be
discussion.
on the next agenda, and then how about you guys as a board can request whenever you'd like to come speak to us at the Fiscal Services
Anytime
Committee?
you guys
Is
are
that- So
available.
it's less formal and it's at your whim and will to provide us with information, and it doesn't handcuff anybody to be, it's less formal and it's.
The only concern that I have is not this operational, is this, I just want to make sure that the board functions in a manner that it maximizes their performance measures so that the board will be eligible for the maximum amount of funding that can do good for the residents of Putnam County.
I just want to future-proof it, right? You guys have all been very receptive, very, you know, willing to engage and stay past and not adjourn meetings, and we're very thankful for
The
that.
Yankees are in the playoffs, I know everyone's trying to get home this evening.
But to make sure we just do something as simple as possible, so, you know, working with Mr.
Sounds
Beasley,
good.
working with you guys, get an agenda, and we can discuss it.
You
at
have
that
us till,
So,
you know, the end of the year, and then we'll see what happens, and then we'll go from there, and then, you know, we'll
okay. I
figure
see-
it all out.
I see DPW left.
Yeah, nobody else
I was
here.
Thank
gonna
you.
ask them-
And
I was
thank you,
gonna ask them to
Legislator
send me
Crowley,
a
for the
bill
suggestion.
because I want a t-shirt that says pave, baby, pave.
Don't say that in Phillipstown, you have no idea.
You want infrastructure in Phillipstown, our roads are getting run down, aren't
You
they?
have no idea what happened in Phillipstown with paving in my
adjourn the
tenure.
meeting.
It's
I
over.
have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We went all the way to
Thank you.
Washington on the paving.